such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. You know what? There was a clip I saw on Newsmax, watching Newsmax now, for the most part. Stitchcom, I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly, at 7 p.m., hosts a show. And I saw something on his show, didn't see much at all, if any, on social media, YouTube. Watch this clip of Joe Biden.
Now, I don't know if he talks to white folks like this or if it's his racism rearing its head again. I can't tell you the answer to that. But I will play this clip for you. And it's a clip the mainstream media appears to be suppressing, maybe because it sounds about as racist as it gets from Joe Biden.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Now, folks, what in the world does that mean? The country is doomed, not just because of African Americans? Are you kidding me? But because of Hispanics too, he goes on to say.
That was Stitchfield. His name looked like a Stitchfield. But that sounds racist to me. That sounds racist to me, but you know, we here at For Such a Time as This, we're going to do our due diligence. And so before I put that in there, I wanted to look at the clip, look at it in context. And as I looked at it in context, I went 5 minutes before, I went 5 minutes after, because I wanted to see if it was taken out of context. Because let me see, because look, we call balls and strikes here. We want to deal with the truth. So I actually looked up fact checkers, and look what the fact checkers say. During the clip in question, Biden says if we cannot make significant progress on racial equality, this country is doomed. It's doomed. And so the whole gist of it is they're taking Biden out of context. Oh, really? So here's what I did. I went 5 minutes before, and I kept listening to 5 minutes after, so I can make sure. I think I went even more than 5 minutes before, because I wanted to get a running start to see what the flow of it is. And as I was getting a running start, I ran across another little tidbit. Now, the context is this. You don't have to look at it. I looked at it. But I'm going to put the original in here. Here's the context. The black people on the Zoom call are complaining that Biden is not appointing more African Americans to positions of power. As he defends himself in his actions, these are black people saying, you're not appointing enough black people to powerful positions. Look how Biden talks to them.
You'll be pleased to see there'll be more African Americans in major positions within a cabinet in major spots and more Hispanics in major spots than ever in American history. That's going to happen. I promise you that. And the other thing is, for example, thus far, for example, when we went ahead and we made sure that, I have as, the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, but at number 2 is Wally Adeyemo, an African American, who is the number 2 guy with real authority at that department. Look underneath just what we're doing in addition to the people we've already named. You're going to see people. Look, and, Cecilia Rouse, Cece, she is a significant player. That's a serious position. But it's like when I name it, well, I don't know if that counts. I'm not so sure. Well, if it doesn't count for y'all, well, the hell with y'all. But because
could you imagine Trump berating blacks like that and saying if it doesn't count with y'all, then die. Hell with y'all. But look at the clip that you saw when he's talking about African Americans and blacks in this country is doomed. Look at it in context. All you got to look at it in context.
I don't always get it right, but I always take responsibility. When I get it wrong, I acknowledge I got it wrong. But my overarching objective, if we cannot make significant progress on racial equity, this country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European.
Doesn't change the context at all to me. As a matter of fact, seems more racist to me if you put it more in context. Right? This country is doomed. It is doomed not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be a minority white European. So what does he say? If we don't make strides in equity, racial equity, we're doomed. Why? Because by 2040, the white man is going to be the minority. And once the white man is the minority, we know you blacks and Hispanics can't get nothing done. That seems worse when you put it in the context. We've got to get it done now. We have to achieve racial equity now while the white man is in charge. Because by 2040, white man is going to be the minority. Blacks, you got to deal with the Hispanics. Look, tell me why this isn't racist. Tell me why. Help me out. I call balls and strikes. We call balls and strikes here at For Such a Time as This. But for all you Biden supporters, please tell me, give some sort of reason why what we just saw was not Joe Biden being a racist.
For such a time as this.